Hello, good evening, and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop role-playing games. It is Monday night, and we are playing the Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign for the Call of Cthulhu. It has been a while, Christmas and New Year. So 2 months since our previous session. So we'll get to that in a moment, but first I'll do other channel promo stuff. So we do Simba Room on a Wednesday evening, and which I think is on this week, seems to be on this week. And then every other Thursday is the Yellow King. So next Thursday, I believe, is the next of those. For details on all of that, you can join our Discord or follow our social media, both of which are linked below the stream, as well as our Twitch if you're watching on YouTube, YouTube if you're watching on Twitch, and our Patreon. So if you enjoy what we do on the channel, you can support us through there. I think that's all of the promo stuff. So previous story, the group all went to Peru, and lots of strange things happened there. But one good thing to come out of it is they made friends with a man named Jackson Elias. And since then, they have all been home, kind of doing their own thing. And then they received a request from Jackson Elias to come and join him in New York to discuss the missing Carlisle expedition. So the group have traveled to New York and spent it's very, very cold and snowy there, and they have spent some time a day sort of doing different things. I'll let the players actually describe what their characters sort of spent the day doing, but another thing that has come about is that on this the first morning that they were there, Jackson has called and asked them to meet him at 8 p.m. at his hotel, the Hotel Chelsea, given his room number. And it is the only time really that any members of the group have heard him seem a little concerned or, uncomfortable. So let's start bringing people on. Let's bring on Steve, who plays Edwin. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Jonny.
How's Edwin feeling in the Big Apple? Is he having a nice time?
Yes, I think so. Yes, rather easier to find your way around than Peru was. So yes, Edwin has been visited the library last time around, getting some info on the Carlisle expedition. Also been surveying the shopping opportunities for if we need gear or stuff like that. Not that, because again, what are we going to be doing in New York? It's probably just a academic reason that Jackson has called us over. So it's a nice change of pace from Edwin's usual sort of lawyering. Bit of a change of scene, some nice views. Bit cold, but interesting to see.
Cool, thank you. Let's grab John, who plays Merritt Barton. Hey, John.
Hey, Jonny.
I think Merritt went looking for some books, right? If I remember correctly.
I remember him finding a primer on Hebrew because it was a language he was thinking about trying after he learns the other 5 languages he has on the go. There was something else, and it's completely gone.
You were going around, I think, trying to get recordings of local accents.
Yes, that was it. Basically just harassing everyday New Yorkers and asking them a brief interview of where they're from, where they grew up, what various ethnic backgrounds may or may not be, and getting them to say what seems like a load of very random words, but hits all of the phonetics and vowels that Merritt is interested in.
Cool, thank you. Let's bring on Sam, who plays Mrs. Farwell. Hey, Sam.
Hello.
What was Mrs. Farwell up to?
Yeah, so I think I also went to the library. First of all, I think I was quite excited to, see the place. I don't remember doing anything useful there. It was, nice to see. Then I was I think it's safe to say I was a bit nervous. I don't know if everyone else felt this as well, but we had spent weeks in the jungles of Peru being chased by undying monstrosities, and Jackson Elias was relatively relaxed for the whole time, and now he seems quite unnerved and stressed. So that's worrying, basically, in summary. So I think Mrs. Farwell is perturbed and seeking some sort of reassurance. So she went to try and find some reassurance from a purveyor of fortunes on the docks, knowing that's the sort of place these people tend to gather, real ones, not, the showy ones who are on the street like she would do in London. So she found a lovely lady who probably had a little stall somewhere, and proceeded to have a very unsettling experience where this lady did a tarot reading, refused to show me what she saw, and then basically ran off, and I didn't really get a sense of what was going on there. So that wasn't very helpful. I think I did did my own reading, but I don't think that particularly cleared up the concerns that I had at that point. So I think more perturbed probably at this point.
Cool, thank you. And finally, at the moment, Justin, who plays Mr. Farwell. Hey, Justin.
Hello.
You were not with us in person last time, though you were in character. I think you have caught up with what Mr. Farwell was up to.
Yeah, it was all a blur, which isn't surprising because I think Farwell was drunk for a lot of it. So I'm given to understand that Jack's character took me wandering around the city to, I think we may have gambled or drunk or something, lived the town up, and I don't know if we got in any fights. I can't remember. It was all a blur. So,
no fights. A bit of a stumble back to the hotel post a few of what the barman recommended, I think.
Sure.
Cool. Hopefully Jack will be joining us. Inga cannot join us this evening, sadly. So, right, as it ended last time, we had Corporal Shane, Mr. Farwell, and Edwin were going to the hotel Chelsea, where Jackson is staying. And Mrs. Farwell, Merritt, and Ted are going to go to Prospero House, which is the publishers of Jackson Elias's books. So I suppose since Jack may join us, let's do the hotel first. So Edwin and Mr. Farwell, this is in Manhattan. So it's on West 23rd Street between 7th and 8th Avenues. As you approach, you see it is a 12-story red brick building. It's still very sort of snowy on the streets, so there's maybe not as many people out and about as there may be on a typical day. We'll say this is mid-morning at this point, sort of 10:45, 11 a.m. by the time you get there. Are you heading in, or are you just planning to sort of hang around?
It's a great question.
I think when I recapped myself, Inga, as Corporal Shane, was saying that they didn't like want to bother him necessarily, and also the potential of drawing attention if there is anything going on. But I'm happy for you to discuss if you have a change of heart about how to interact with the situation.
Yeah, I think Edwin might sort of want to look around the outside of the place, just sort of get a just wander around, have a look at the where the hotel is situated. Maybe look around for, I don't know whether any sort of coffee shops or we wouldn't want to be sitting outside in this weather. But just get the lie of the land, and maybe have a chat with Mr. Farwell about and Shane, of course, about what our intentions are. Are we just going to sit in the lobby? Do you have any thoughts on the matter?
No.
Amazing.
Something tells me you have a hangover.
Yes. I think. I suppose we could ask around in the lobby, or is there an investigation we could do in the lobby to look for? I don't know, this his any envelope sticking out of his letterbox style, like anything like that, or I don't know. This is all I can think of, Steve. So,
yes, you can absolutely go in and make an investigation roll. I suppose probably spot hidden, right?
It does sound about right, doesn't it?
Usually, there.
Yeah.
Anything else of the usual?
Yeah, I guess if we sort of sit ourselves down in the lobby and just kind of keep an eye on who's coming in and going out, and look out for weird things going on.
Well, I don't spot any hidden things, so there you go.
I shall give it a go, I guess. Oh, I also don't. This is perfect. I rolled a 91, so I also don't spot any hidden things.
Just also, would you have arranged time to meet up with everybody somewhere else, or are you planning on spending until 8 p.m. here?
It would be quite a while to wait in the hotel, wouldn't it?
I think so. Wait, that's too long to wait. Maybe wait for 3 or 4 hours max.
Yeah,
2 or
and then
3
we can
hours.
meet up again for late lunch or something, maybe.
Maybe would it have made sense if we were maybe going to come and meet you here after we'd finished at the publishers?
Yeah.
It's an idea.
Cool.
It's a hotel. They do food, right? Maybe we just go and eat here anyway. If they do.
And see if Jackson also comes down for food.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So nothing of note in the lobby. Did you say you also wanted to scope out around the outside, Steve?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
One thing actually that you would know is that there are, or there seem to be, from the people coming in and out, like a reasonably notable number of African American guests, which for the time was probably quite rare. So yeah, and also some people kind of carrying cases that look like they're musical instruments. So this is maybe a bit of a sort of progressive bohemian-y artistic sort of area, or just hotel, but probably the area. So if you head around the back, you note there are fire escapes around the back of the building, And you kind of, as you would expect, you kind of go down the side in an alleyway that takes you around the back and continues back around again the other side. Nothing massively of note there.
And I suppose we
keep waiting.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's cut to Prospero House then. Are you phoning, or if you kind of wanted to try and use the telephone at the hotel to attempt to make any kind of appointment, or are you just rocking up?
Were we in touch with them before, or did we've received a message from the publisher, but we didn't send anything back to them, correct? I feel like we might have been in touch with them or something, but I might be wrong.
Did they organise our journeys or something?
No, we got in touch with Prospero House to get a message to Jackson
That's
Elias.
right. So we have been in touch with them.
Yeah, I think you
So
telegrammed, I think.
Yeah. I think we don't need to send another message then. They kind of are familiar that we've messaged them, so it wouldn't be too rude to show up and say, oh, we sent a telegram, we're concerned.
But we might want to make sure that the guy we're actually wanting to talk about is available and in the office in the day.
I suppose that's true. Yeah. But I mean, what would we do otherwise? We'd probably go anyway, right?
It's true.
I think Mrs. Farwell is like, let's just go. But I will not stop Merritt from sending a telegram.
I think Merritt will consider it polite to not agree an appointment, but to pre-warn that he is arriving, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That
do you want to telephone or telegram?
I will telephone.
Okay. So you head to the desk, and the same young man is on there that had handed the phone to Ted earlier in the morning, and says, "Good morning, sir."
Good morning. Could I use your phone?
Yes, of course. What's the room number, sir? Your room number, sorry.
I will say my room number.
Yeah.
Because I haven't written it down.
It just makes a note of it, and says, "Do you know the who is it that you wish to call, sir?"
Prospero Publishing House.
He gets out like a kind of Rolodex thing with a few numbers and dials and hands you the and you hear a couple of rings, and then a little sort of crackle of static, and then hello, Prospero Publishing.
Hello, my name is Merritt Barton. I was hoping to try and make an appointment with
Jonah Kensington.
Yes, that's the one. Jonah Kensington.
Oh yes, no appointment required. Mr. Kensington is here today. You're welcome to swing by.
Wonderful. I will be along as soon as I can. Thank you.
Lovely. Puts the phone down.
Hang the phone up. Go back to Mrs. Farwell and say, "Not a problem."
Not a problem as in we needed an appointment and it's fine, or not a problem as in we didn't need an appointment?
Not a problem as in we didn't need an appointment, but I'm sure the gentleman appreciated us calling ahead.
Of course he did. I will smile to myself.
Cool.
And get us a carriage there, I think, unless it's very close.
Not super close, and obviously the weather is not super nice.
Yeah,
so
I'll pay a carriage to get us there.
Yeah. Cool. You arrive there. There is a sign above the door, so you can easily spot where it is. And as you enter, there is a young woman at a desk who looks up and smiles and says, is one of you Mr. Barton?
That will be me. Pleased to meet you. Hang out my hand.
And you? She shakes. The air is sort of filled with the sound of, manual printing presses and guillotines and all kinds of sort of manual bookmaking and editing things going on. And you kind of see Ted almost settle into what you imagine somebody would look like when they're very comfortable with their surroundings. And she says, please go on through. Mr. Kensington is just through there.
Thank you.
You can see there's a number of people kind of working on different things. Only one of them is in shirt and tie, which you assume may be Jonah Kensington.
Is this place quite, is it quite a well-to-do publishing house? Is it sort of a bit of a backwater, sort of cheaper-looking place? What sort of feel do we get?
It's an interesting one. So this isn't an office space. It's more of a warehouse space, which you don't know, but you imagine may be cheaper to hire than an office space for the amount of space that you get. So yeah, you imagine that a quite sort of well-off publishing house may have an office and a separate printing it, or so So maybe it's not
gone to one of the new tower blocks in the middle of the city.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that makes sense. Okay. I suppose that doesn't surprise. I would have been surprised if it was the other way around, given the nature of the Jackson Elias's books being published. So yeah.
He looks up from. He's kind of walking just around the room with like a manuscript, just kind of walking and reading. But happens to see you approaching, the three of you.
Hey!
Perfect timing as always.
Amazing.
Hi, Jack. The three of you have just gone to Prospero House and are about to meet Jackson's editor, Jonah Kensington. So yeah, he's reading a manuscript and he looks up and says, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Barton?
Correct. And this is Mrs. Farwell and Mr. Hobbs here.
Good to meet you. He, Jack, has Ted got anything newspapery about him? Like a little notepad in the top pocket or anything?
Or like a hat that says press in the band. He's got his notepad and stuff, and would that be in his bag? Because I always picture him like a messenger bag on.
Okay.
So yeah, he's not literally got a hat with press on. That'd be ridiculous. I don't even know whether they actually existed.
They could in this world.
Yeah, is that your biggest complaint, Jack?
Okay, let's say that you don't have anything super obvious. That's fine. And he says, "How can I help the three of you?"
Well, I believe we contacted your offices the other day to help us get in contact with our mutual friend, Mr. Jackson Elias.
Ah, yes.
Well, he got in contact with us, and we have to say he sounded quite out of sorts.
Yeah.
He's not in any sort of trouble, is he?
More than
I don't.
is usual.
I don't think he is in trouble. I think he is working on something that he finds exciting, thrilling, and it is becoming a little consuming, perhaps. I'm not sure how much the man is sleeping, to be honest. I think he might be working all hours. It's not completely out of the ordinary once Jackson gets something that he's working on, but this is probably the most extreme version that I have seen.
By all accounts, he didn't sound awfully thrilled, more slightly scared. Is it? Do you know? Well, I'd assume as he called us here, it was to do with the missing expedition, but has he said whether there's anyone involved that may have ill intent towards him?
No, I don't think so. Certainly not to me. So what I know about this, obviously, I tell Jackson I'll print whatever he gives me. But this was December 16th. I hadn't heard from him for a while. And I got a telegram from him about this, just about the fact that he thought that he found something about the expedition. And then he came back, he swung in and said hi, but I haven't seen him much since then.
Do you know anything about what he's working on at the moment?
He kind of looks around, like slightly conspiratorially, and says,
I think if he does that, I'll kind of go, we're close friends of his. I think he will understand.
No. It's he's. I don't want to spoil anything too much for he should be able to spin you the yarn, but well, he thinks that the expedition may not be completely destroyed, as it were. Thinks he might have some evidence to the contrary of the prevailing opinion on the end fate of the expedition. I wouldn't like to say any more, but it could be exciting. And Carlisle's sister is still around. I'm sure that she would be incredibly thrilled if Jackson found that, those guys were still kicking.
Well, that does sound reassuring. I guess we're just not used to Jackson being quite as intense when he's working.
I suppose, from my understanding, you were sort of with him while the events were transpiring, rather than when he was writing everything up afterwards. Maybe there's something in that. I don't know.
Well, thank you very much for putting us at ease, at least.
No problem. Look, I'll be here until after it's dark. So if you need anything,
Thank you.
and tell him I said hi when you see him.
I will. We should be meeting him this evening, so I'll ask him to drop you a line.
Perfect. You folks have a nice day.
Thank
and
you.
he kind of
you.
starts pacing up and down, reading his manuscript again.
As we leave, Mrs. Farwell is like visibly like sort of deep in thought with her eyes wide.
Something on your mind?
Egypt. Interesting place, isn't it? Do you want to know? I have a little tradition. Every morning I draw myself a card from my mother's tarot deck. Would you like to know which card I drew this morning?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, sure.
Sun. I think I know where we're going next.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Farwell. I believe the sun shines on the entirety of the earth.
Oh, come now. The desert is surely the sunniest place.
I suppose.
Besides, it is as much the meaning as it is the sun itself, but anyway.
I suppose there's something in there about, rather than extracting a direct meaning from the cards, the putting your own meaning on it, which doesn't necessarily make it. It doesn't matter. I don't want to offend anyone.
Is there anything else you want to do here? Or on like before meeting up with the rest of the group at the hotel?
I think, well, Ted will say, on the phone, he definitely sounded sort of, I mean, anxious. I don't know whether it didn't sound like an intense writing anxious. It just sounded more anxious. I mean, I'm saying that. Is that accurate, Jonny? I'm just.
Yeah, he like if you had to pick like a simple word to describe, you would probably say scared.
Yeah. I figure Ted knows what it's like to maybe be stuck writing something and be dead into it. That so even having some idea of maybe what it's like, and it didn't sound like he's focused on his writing, getting really into it. He was just more, nervous and scared than anything.
The only other people we know in the city who are connected to these goings on is it Mrs. Carlyle, the widow of the investigator or expedition?
Sister. I understood he
Sister,
was
my
a
apologies.
bachelor.
Yes.
You're absolutely right. Sister, I misremembered. Yes. Well, I don't know if there's anything we can do, but perhaps she's the reason, or something to do with her is the reason that he's nervous. Perhaps he found something out that she didn't like, or he's trying to keep something from her, or I don't know. I don't know if there's anything we can do with that just yet. We probably need to meet him, really, but it's an idea. Do you think? I don't know how we might go about finding where, if the Carlyles have a house or something in the city. We could find that out.
Likely.
Records.
Yeah.
Phone
It's still
book.
early, maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be a directory or something.
They were quite a rich family. Perhaps even just asking questions at some sort of fancy social event.
I mean, if they're a rich and sort of family that's been established for a while, there's got to be some records, in sort of, council building, government building. or even just newspaper records would point to where they go, or where their sort of established houses, which we could find at the library. If only there was a skill for searching in a library in this game, which I don't think we've actually really used yet.
I think I've used it once.
I
Tried
think-
to use it and failed.
I think John and Sam tried to use it last time and didn't roll really well.
Yeah, I think I was trying to read about the politics of the area and
Yeah.
did not do well.
Okay. Go on, Sam.
Yeah, I suppose it's still early, so if there's something we can do, given that, I mean, we know the others spent at least a few hours around the hotel, or at least an hour or two, kind of looking around. We've just, I guess, the carriage ride. But if there's some sort of like, you know, if I know a phone book, literally just a phone book, I suppose would be the first thing. We find a phone book to look at where they live. I'd probably try and do that.
Also, without wanting to lead the witness, Jack, I imagine Ted would have a look at the papers in the morning. I think Edwin probably would as well, but Edwin's not there. So, and Merritt and Mrs. Farwell may also. But the papers often have a society section. So you may find details in there. But yeah, also your library suggestion is completely reasonable as well.
I think I would get our carriage to send us back to the library, perhaps, and then we can probably find a paper in the vicinity when we get there.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you go through the ever increasing snow and arrive at the library. So if you want to head in and look for some records and newspapers, if you would all like to make library use rolls for that.
Oh, I'm testing my. I really feel like Mrs. Farwell. I'm gonna make a some sort
You
of
could
roll
push.
if Mrs. Farwell gets entirely distracted by Egypt.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that you hadn't made the roll.
No, I have. I'm not gonna find my detail in time. I'm just gonna roll these two.
I rolled 100.
Oh, no.
I don't know how you can utterly botch a library use roll, but if you're going to drop a bookshelf on me, do it fast.
Did you never hear about the Great New York Library Fire of 1925?
If you do now.
Oh, there it is.
Oh god. I rolled an 18, so I get to take library use. Yay!
I did not pass.
Okay.
So that is a good pass. The one before extreme, whatever it is. Double pass.
Yeah, hard. Yeah.
Hard. Thank you.
Don't forget to tick your successes.
I did not get
okay.
distracted by looking up Egypt, so I was doing what I should do.
Okay, yeah, so you find a bunch of sort of business addresses and things like that for the Carlisle Corporation, as it were. But then you do find a residential address within those as like a registered address, which is in the Westchester borough, I suppose, of New York. And on sort of cross-referencing with a map, it is reachable, but it's probably your guess with like finger measurements for the scale, probably 30 to 40 miles from you. So it's probably not a trip to be made today before this evening.
Yeah,
you know, it's.
I think I was not planning on turning up at their house until we'd tried to get in contact with Jackson Elias anyway. I will make a note of all of the addresses that are linked to Carlisle family. While I'm at it, do I also get an indication of what their business is? Sorry, you might have had this from the old stuff, but if there's any more like information on kind of their business dealings or interesting stuff about the family to take away.
Almost certainly.
Oh, I got a hard success. Can I have a little bit?
No.
Oh, I think you're looking it up.
No, I'm just talking very slowly and turning the pages in this book.
This is the on second thoughts, you did need an extreme success. And you're never going to try that roll again.
One moment, please. Please hold.
Someone
Uh,
needs to play
da-da-da-da.
on hold music here.
Yeah.
Get some soft jazz going.
Oh, I almost just told you about somebody else completely. Where have you gone?
This is the slight problem with expensive campaigns, in that there
There's
can be
stuff
quite a few
everywhere.
people. Yeah.
And physical books where you can control F in her, which does make it a bit easier.
I have a PDF as well, but also, like, searching Carlisle in this like chapter is.
I see
not
what you
gonna give
mean.
me-
Yeah.
Okay, I will find this. Let's carry on, and I will drop in when relevant.
What was Ted doing in the library? Did you gonna get a newspaper?
Yeah, probably reading through the newspaper. I mean, I failed the roll, so nothing productive.
Which is presumably you find a newspaper.
Yeah, they've got the little on street things, haven't they?
Yeah. Yep.
You just get distracted by the cartoon or something.
It's a political satire that Ted doesn't really understand, but he still laughs anyway, just to pretend he's intelligent.
No one's watching, Ted. You're just reading it by yourself. You didn't have to pretend.
He's always got the sense someone's watching him. That's the trouble. I'm sure nothing will come of that.
Yeah. Are you gonna like open the newspaper and show us and be like, "Ah, do you get it?"
That's it. He's hoping that you guys don't.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take too long to explain. You get back to your phone book.
Do you know? I genuinely don't know if it says.
Okay, never mind.
He
it's
is a
not
millionaire
important.
playboy and socialite.
That man.
That's
Fa-
about all I've got.
It's family
It
money.
made family wealth, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it specified that there were various addresses, like for businesses, and then it doesn't talk about what they are. Anyway, don't worry about it, Johnny. It's fine. It's clearly not important. It's not obvious in the book. You can move on.
Yeah, I think his job is Playboy.
Yeah.
They make money. That's what his business makes.
Maybe they're all just odd different things. Like he's invested in whiskey in one of them, and then this one's just like in I don't know shoes,
Right.
and then so it's like this is just random businesses that he's not interested in.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the fact that he's like a millionaire now, 5 years after the Great Depression, means he must have been super rich before.
Transportation, munitions, and international trade.
He's a
That'll do it.
mobster. Oh, that's construction, isn't it?
Cool. Is there anything else that you want to look for while in the library? That would have taken you a little while to work through all of that stuff. So
I think my 100 meant that maybe I just got completely distracted by something else. I found a primer in Arabic that I hadn't.
I was going to say, I think you now have another language that you want to learn. I think it's probably the result of that.
The ultimate forfeit.
What would I have picked up in New York? Italian. Do I speak Italian? I don't know. Oh, I do. No, I don't. Italian it is then.
So maybe we're like due to meet somewhere soon, and then Ted has to come get Merritt from reading the Italian book, and Winifred from just staring at the Egyptology section, knowing she shouldn't.
Yeah, I'll mention that time's getting on that we need to head to where we're meeting him at his hotel, was it, or something?
You are meeting the other group at his hotel, first of all. I assume that Mrs. Farwell is suggesting a carriage again.
Yeah.
Rather than sloshing through the streets.
I feel like I probably rather than like hailing a carriage, would the first carriage I met, I would just offer to pay for their day, and they would be waiting wherever we get out, probably, because I wouldn't want to have to stand outside.
Yep. Cool. How the other side live, eh? Cool. Yeah, you rock up to this 12-story red brick building, and there's a sign saying Hotel Chelsea outside. And if you head into the lobby, you see the other three doing whatever it is they're doing at that moment. Maybe having a drink at the bar. A nice soda water or something.
Twiddling thumbs.
Reading papers. Watching people come in and out.
We'll wander over to you. Any sign of Mr. Elias?
Not so far, no. I admit we haven't tried sending a message to him yet. We've just been, sat in the lobby.
Strangely hanging out outside of his house. But we could try.
Do you try asking at the front desk if he's here?
Not so far, no. We didn't want to necessarily intrude immediately, but...
Also, if he sounded worried, perhaps he isn't here under his real name.
Fair. Or he doesn't want us drawing attention to him. Sorry, I just want to find out what's going on so urgently.
Well, let's do that then. Jonny, let's just ask. Let's just go and ask if there is a man by the name of Jackson staying at the hotel.
We do have his room number.
Oh, we have his room number. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
410.
Okay.
But surely he would have warned us if he was under a different name here. He'd have said.
Well, I think we can ask if there's a person named Jackson staying in it, and then if let's start with that and move on from there.
Yeah. Okay. So the guy at the front desk says, "Good afternoon."
Afternoon. We're looking to meet a friend, Mr. Jackson, who we believe is staying at the hotel. Is there someone staying here under that name?
Is that? Do you have a full name?
It would be E. Jackson, or perhaps
other way.
Wait, is it Jackson E? Wait.
Jackson Elias.
Jackson
yeah.
Elias.
Oh my god. That's
Americans, am I right?
Kill me now. Sorry. Excuse me.
Elias Journey.
Excuse me.
We could derail a campaign
I need to
entirely. Meet Elias Jackson and...
I need to go and lie down after that level of faux pas. I just go white and have to be caught as I fall into somebody's arms with the embarrassment.
Husband, you're still hungover. Let me take over.
Oh God!
Someone else should do it.
Let me have done that differently, Jonny. Please let me have got the name right.
That's fine. He says, Oh, yes. Yeah. Mr. Elias is staying here. Would you like me to pass a message on to him, sir?
Is he? Do you know if he's in? Has he handed his key in, or?
He is still staying with us. I'm not sure whether he is in his room at the moment. I know he is a busy man and has requested not to be disturbed
I see.
during his stay with us as much as possible. Obviously, if
Well,
there were a fire, I'm sure he would want us to inform him. But
well, you can. No, please tell him that his friends, the Farwells, stopped by to say hello.
yes, of course, sir. He kind of tears a strip of paper and puts in a pigeonhole for room 410 behind him.
I'm gonna look at him and look around as if there's like, is there something more you can be doing with your time rather than doing this right now? When he doesn't immediately go and deliver the message, I'll return to the group and go, Americans.
Maybe we do need to start a fire then.
Oh my god. Was there anything else in the pigeonhole? Did anybody?
No, nothing else in his pigeonhole, no.
Well, we tried.
Get on the next ship home.
Where we were sitting, Johnny, we could see like the main concourse entranceway. Such could
I'm sure that the group would have picked a decent spot. Yeah.
Well, knowing our roles,
5 times while they were sitting there. Yeah, cool. Okay, I guess just wait there. Yeah, get some afternoon tea and relax.
Okay. So are you kind of planning on staying in there now until the meeting time?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. It's like freezing cold out, isn't it?
it's a long time though.
How long have we got?
Well, it's 8 p.m. We're supposed to be meeting him.
Yeah,
Is
let's
that- is
say
Has anyone brought any
on,
cards?
like 1:30, 2 p.m. at the point that this exchange happens between
Oh,
Mr.
blimey, that is a
Farwell
long
and
time.
Is there?
I think
Sorry.
I was just gonna say I might start a conversation first of all.
It's very.
I was
very...
discussing with yeah, I know role play. I was discussing with these fine gentlemen earlier. Well, it seems like he's been. I don't know if I want to quite say threatened, and I'm probably glancing around to make sure there's no one immediately within earshot, but I assume we're probably not being listened to. I don't want to necessarily say threatened, but certainly afraid for himself in some manner. Given we're in New York and not in some strange mystical temple or something, I can only assume whatever has him afraid is, well, people. I think that's a logical conclusion to draw. So, if that's the case, well, who do we know other than Carlisle family who might, well, have him afraid? It's just an idea I'm throwing around at the moment, but perhaps he went to speak with them about this, about what he's found out, about the fact that, as we found out when we were at the publishers, he seems to believe that the investigation in Egypt is, well, not finished. I don't quite know what he meant by that, but there's something else to be found there. Perhaps they were angry or trying to hide or wanted more information or something. I don't know, but it seemed like a logical hypothesis, perhaps.
I mean, if what the publisher said was true and say he has information that means that Carlisle might be alive, the system might not be too happy if it stops, the inheritance that she probably was due going to her, or at least she stands to lose a lot of it, and maybe she's not happy about that.
That's a very dark theory, though, that she wanted him dead.
It seems a little odd that
Perhaps
she did go to extraordinary lengths to try to find her brother, according to the newspaper accounts. It seems a little
Well,
But
that's what the paper said. We don't know that's what she was doing out there.
And it's a while ago. She might have gotten used to a even more comfortable lifestyle since then. Doesn't want anything to affect it. It's all conjecture, but if we're trying to link him being scared to this book he's writing, I mean, it could just be easy that he owes someone money and is, scared of something completely mundane and unrelated.
his writing he's ended up infiltrating a number of these cults. I think perhaps, I don't know, perhaps history has caught up with him. Perhaps an old
New
connection
York?
or something has.
Of all places.
Jackson investigates cults. That I don't think cults have come up in connection to this expedition until now. The story is that the expedition was a playboy, a socialite, a financier, and maybe one person who knew what they were doing, who went to Egypt and then further inland to try and discover lost gold. From that alone, that doesn't sound like something that Jackson would be interested in. Does it?
I mean, what was in the advert we all answered originally that was related to cults? Other than...
It was the... It's true. And there was the
But
massacre.
Jackson didn't go on that expedition because of the advert. He went on that expedition because of Mendoza.
Maybe researching some other cult or something has led him a connection to this expedition. He could have been researching something completely different and then found a connection and gone, well, this is more lucrative, more interesting, a more solid connection, or just more interesting, and then got onto it that way.
Maybe one of the expedition members wasn't just what they were reported in the paper.
More like a 400-year-old vampire or something.
It's happened before, hasn't it?
Did they
mean,
find all
yeah.
of them? The bodies of all of the...
I'm not sure it found the bodies of any of them.
Well, if there's a
Believe
chance
the-
they might be alive, they couldn't have found bodies.
I believe
They have
they had some problems identifying the bodies due to their state, but the newspaper report did at least suggest that some of them had been found. There were a few names listed, I think.
Remains of at least 24 expedition members and bearers are thought found in a remote region of the Aberdare forest.
I mean, the very fact that there was a massacre is already right up Jesse Hugh's, region of interest, isn't it? Not that he necessarily knew about that beforehand, as you say, Mr. Hobbs, but it seems potentially likely he was onto something that we didn't know about, no one else knew about the expedition, and the massacre was a connection, a result of it, something like that.
It says here that Carlyle was counted among the dead, but that the Egyptologist Aubrey Penhew, the other socialite Hypatia Masters, and the medical doctor Dr. Robert Houston was still missing.
Interesting.
I mean, does it overlap geographically with any of his other work?
He's certainly written about Africa before, but let's see what region.
I think it's safe to say we would have. I probably would have gone and read some of Jesse Hughes' other work, Johnny. Others probably have as well. So Could we be vaguely familiar with? I mean, I know John's just looking it up, but
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The expedition was in Kenya, and he has written about African death cults before.
Kenya's not, it's just to the west of to the east of the Rift Valley. So it's not the other side of Africa.
Kenya is also where our previous expedition leader was from. I can't remember whether I ever mentioned that to any of you.
No. Remember that, Mr. Larkin?
Yes. Yes, I think we mentioned it over dinner once, actually.
Oh yes, you're right. Did.
That his family were involved in transportation.
Was that how Mr. Elias found out about? I can't remember how Mr. Elias found out about the expedition in the first place, or why he was.
I'll have to ask him about it later.
I think with that, the idea was that he had answered a similar ad. I think that was,
But presumably he had an interest in the region in Peru to watch a recap. I don't know, can't remember.
I think he was already investigating Karasiri because he'd been in contact with Dr. Sanchez. And that Dr. Sanchez had maybe tipped him off that the expedition was a bit weird for reasons.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. And he'd used a fake name because he's kind of known for investigating odd things like that, and he wanted to,
And De Mendoza and Larkin's name had come up in his investigations while he was there.
Right, yes.
With locals.
Okay. I always find these moments funny because I like to think about the person who's binge watching all our episodes, and it's just like,
It's like, come on, guy.
The one person.
That's forgetting him. We see you. We like you.
Well done.
But also, we're sorry. We've got about 6 hours before we need to meet Mr. Elias. Maybe we could do some research in some of the missing members of the party. I say we. My research skills, for some reason, don't seem to have crossed the Atlantic with me.
I mean, would he mind terribly if we were to just knock on his door? He has called us over. We've travelled across.
Thank goodness, finally, someone else suggested it. I didn't want to say, but I really do want to go and knock on his door. It
Seems
would be
very
impossible
forward.
to go and do it alone.
Seems very forward. I'm sure he just would rather we wait here.
I am very worried for him. I would like to know he's safe if he is here, at least.
We could just knock on his door as he sounded anxious on the phone. We just wanted to make sure everything was all right, and looking forward to seeing him later if it's not convenient now.
It's true. It's true. For a second, I thought that Ted was going to suggest that we knock on his door and run away.
Although the last time Ted and Mr. Farwell, I think, knocked on someone's door they were concerned about.
Farwell's never had any problem with knocking on doors and then driving with his shoulder and then driving with his shoulder again and then going, well, such is life. Well, let's
Does the way up to the rooms look it's just like an easy way everyone's walking in and out of, Johnny. It's not like, you know,
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
get behind the cat. Okay, yeah.
No, there's no tap card to get you in or anything. No. You don't know whether down the hallways you might need a key to get on a floor or whatever, but certainly from what you can see, there's just a swing door to get through to the rooms.
And it's busy. Is it busy enough that obviously the clerk at the front desk saw us go and inquire? Quite obviously not. I mean, they probably would know we're not staying at this hotel. Maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. But it's busy enough that they wouldn't just like obviously notice us walking up. There's enough traffic that they're doing things and such.
You just do it like you're supposed to be there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
exactly.
mean, he might kind of notice that, because he's still kind of in his eye line, so he might notice that
Yeah.
the person who has just come over to ask if the person is in that room then walks past him again.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's a bit
But
like, does it matter?
I think we should go for it.
if you do it like this, then he won't.
Yeah, if we
Let's
deliberately
see.
sneak, it's bound to be fine.
What
I
if
know,
we
we run
go
full
to the
punch.
go to the lobby bathrooms and then crawl past his desk, like where he can't see us outside of his eye line?
Nice, yes.
I've got it.
No
guys.
one else will say
Fire.
anything. Yeah, just set a small fire.
That'll get Jackson out of his room.
And so it begins.
I think we should go for it. I think Ted just starts walking. Let's just go for it.
Yeah. As soon as someone starts walking, Mrs. Farwell is like, "Out your heels," because I really want to go up.
We don't
will
all
stay
have to go
here.
up. I mean, yeah.
I will not stop you, but we had an agreed upon time, and I will not violate that for that reason.
Wow. Noted.
Okay. I'd like you to make a roll, but I haven't decided what it is yet.
Is it like a not getting noticed? Nonchalantness.
Is it
Yeah, I
upending
can't.
the
I don't
GM's
want
plans
it.
wrong?
No, I don't want it to be a stealth roll. Like if this were the other game, I would suggest just a straight charisma roll. I kind of. I mean, I suppose it's appearance, isn't it? Is the
Or
equivalent.
power the sort of equivalent of like willpower? in a
Fast
way?
talk.
No, because you're not going to
no.
talk to him. So I think appearance is like the charisma equivalent.
Swayed. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, my appearance isn't that bad. The news is Ted. I still failed, but
That's fail.
Okay. So you see that the guy is just sort of like looking down at what he's doing behind the desk. And then so you kind of think that you've got past him fine, but then another person swoops behind the desk and takes the message from the pigeonhole and kind of almost collides with you and says, oh my apologies, please, and holds the door open for you to let you through.
I guess. I mean, the message was to him, wasn't it? Of saying we're here.
Yeah.
Do you think he believes if we should go? Well, we could just deliver that.
That's hilarious.
Joe, I will just say to him, is that our message for Mr. Elias?
I'm afraid these messages are confidential, sir.
I'm not asking what's in it. I know what's in it. I was just asking if it's for him.
Do you want to give me a fast talk roll,
no.
Jack?
We're going to get into a fight.
It's like, yeah, come on, it's like
Yeah, no, that failed.
Give me that.
He kind of like recloses the door. and says, "Do you have your room keys?"
Well, he's my friend. I know what room he's in. I was just gonna just let him know personally that we're here early. One of our
I'm
other friends had
afraid-
left the message, but I figured I'd just go and knock on his door and just check.
I'm
That's
afraid
really-
that certain members of our clientele request not to be disturbed at times of working, sir.
Disturbed by the staff, but I'm not staff. I'm his friend.
Well, once we have delivered the message, I'm sure that the recipient can decide whether or not they wish to see anyone.
I'll come with you then. I'll just stay out of sight, and then he can decide. And I'm already there. There is less disruption to him if he just decides to meet us.
He kind of goes, Jimmy, would you take care of this gentleman? And the person from behind the desk kind of looks up, and then the person who has the message goes through the door and kind of pushes it closed.
What does Jimmy say to me? What's Jimmy got to say, eh?
He
When you turn around the
Oh my
bed,
God.
like Winifred is gone. She's with everyone else now. It's been a while ago.
He kind of takes a step over. He doesn't put himself between you and the door, but he steps towards you and says, "Is there something I can help with, sir?"
I was just popping up to my friend's room just to knock on for him.
I'm afraid that it's guests and their guests only past this point, sir.
Well, yeah, I'm his guest. I'm his, he's invited us.
I'm afraid that is as yet unconfirmed by the guests themselves, sir.
Well, I know he's here. I gave you his name.
But
I'll give you his name.
you could understand, sir, that some kind of unruly fellow could come in here with a name and a room number, and well, they could take people's belongings. They
Do you not
could
lock the doors?
they could squat a free room.
The room's not cleaned every day, so I mean, I've not got any intention of just hiding out in a room. I've got far better things to do with my time. I just want to knock
so
on
I
the
can
door.
see, sir.
Exactly.
I
So
love
you can see
that
that
this
I'm a
argument
respectable fellow and can.
This argument could possibly run for another 6 hours. This is
It
great.
could fill until 8 p.m.
It could. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't said we have problems with journalists coming in and bothering our guests. By the way, Farwell is going to turn to Mrs. Farwell and be like, "Oh, how was Jackson? Was that a good trip?"
I will cross my arms and glare at you.
Could I offer you a complimentary drink while you wait, sir?
Fine. Yeah. Go on then.
Playing the long game, are you, Ted?
He kind of does that thing
In
that
real
he
life,
kind of
it might have
cranes
been
his
worth-
neck.
Trying to do something, but my role did fail, so it's.
He kind of cranes his neck to the bar staff and like nods and points to you and does a 1 in the air.
You get a glass of tap water.
I mean, what would they even serve in a hotel bar in Prohibition?
Coffee.
Juice, coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come back smugly with my free cup of coffee. Look what I got.
It's unlimited refills, mate.
Love it. Then, like, can you imagine if there's another guy who just does this every other day?
Yeah, they really don't want to let us up to his room for some reason.
Well, at least
For
they have
some
decent
reason, they
security.
don't want to let non-guests into where the rooms are freely.
What a
I think Mrs.
stumper!
Farwell's like found a book and is pretending not to listen to any of this conversation now.
Yeah, the rest of us just have newspapers.
Well, I think Mr. Farwell is going to stand up, slapping his thighs, like kind of. This has been like, it's been very interesting, but we have many hours to wait, and I'm not going to be waiting here. I've waited long enough. Someone else can stand watch.
Yeah.
I'll
we should-
stay. Keep an eye out.
I'll stay as well.
I think out of stubbornness, Ted's going to stay now.
You've got
You've got your
coffee.
free coffee to drink
Yeah.
Yeah. Nurse it.
there. You can make that last 6 hours.
Wow. Yeah, perhaps there's a deli nearby or something that I don't know what other establishments there are nearby, but
Yeah, you could go and get some food.
Could do. I think that I have no idea how to investigate the disappearances of people in East Africa from this city. So, options include. I think I need to go and buy a book on this topic, or maybe go to a library. I think going to a library would be good. There's probably pretty big libraries in this city, and maybe spending some time reading about these things that I don't really know anything about to try and better edify myself on the topic.
Did you say
Okay.
Mrs. Farwell's staying at the hotel, or has she gone to the library as
Yeah.
well?
No,
I just love if Mr. Farwell just reads all the books about Egypt that she wanted to read.
yeah.
Okay. Justin, do you want to make a library use roll for Mr. Farwell?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna find the library first. That could take ages.
Are you cabbing it?
No. No,
No.
but like, I'm happy to assume that I find the library.
Does
Miss
Hasn't
Farwell
Edwin
not
been
tell
to
you
a-
about the cab she's got like
On
booked
retainer.
out?
I mean, again, it's cold, but I haven't got anything better to do, so I might as well walk around.
I probably will have told like Edward and Mr. Farwell about the cab, but you don't have
Yeah.
to use it.
Well,
Assuming-
I have
Edward heading out as well.
successfully rolled library use to find out. I'm just like I guess more not really like I think that just grabbing books on East Africa probably won't be very useful, but maybe there are books that like maybe like news or books that describe like famous American established families. You know, like I imagine there are like probably books or articles or things on like the Rockefellers and the Chryslers of the world, and maybe these others fit into that category. I rolled a 29 under 30.
Okay. Don't forget to tick off your success there. I will find some information and give you it.
Fantastic. Well, I feel like I've learned so much about these strange and odd family that has gone. I guess. You know, I'm looking for like anything that stands out. Like, father was arrested for being in a death cult, or all of the siblings disappeared mysteriously one night, or
there's a family curse.
Family curse. All of them are consigned to insane asylums. This is basically the standard stuff of Call of Cthulhu, surely.
Nothing of that jumps out immediately.
Wow, this is the most normal family of rich people that I've ever seen in my life.
Does Mrs. Farwell? I don't know quite her business when it comes to readings and so on. Is it purely sort of cold readings, or does Mrs. Farwell investigate, do background research on people she's giving readings for?
She would.
Okay.
I think it depends on the context.
Yeah.
If it was a particularly well-to-do client that she wanted to impress, she would definitely do some research.
So this is kind of in the wheelhouse of that, really, I guess.
Yeah, and she might well have had Mr. Farwell help them. Fair.
Cool. Did anybody else want to do anything specific before sort of later evening rolls around?
I'd just be wandering around. I think I'd find a local place to get a sandwich and a coffee or something.
Yeah.
Just within the area of the hotel, keeping an eye on things, but otherwise it'll be quite a long day.
Yeah, you find a nice deli and get a nice sandwich. Yeah, I think probably the nicest food that you might have had for a while. Nicely made bread and cured meats and such. Maybe some pickles if Edwin is feeling adventurous.
Yeah.
He may remove them after the first bite. I don't know. So, and then I assume, could be since some people are waiting in the hotel anyway, that everyone will return there once done doing their other bits. So, if everyone wants to make a spot hidden roll.
Fail from me.
I got 100.
Success.
Okay.
I am just so ashamed about that interaction that Ted forced me into earlier that I can't.
Is it?
Nice.
I'm not here for this, or am I back?
You're back. Yeah, everyone's back.
Right, okay.
Jack, a spot hit.
I failed then.
Okay.
Failed spot hidden by 5%. I didn't realize I was muted then.
Okay. Merit passed. So as you're just kind of sitting around and it's nearing the time, it's about 7:30. And in fact, let's call it 7:50. And you see a couple of members of the sort of the person who's on reception and somebody else kind of whisper a couple of words to each other and kind of look over in your direction. And one of them comes over and says, excuse me, I'm of the understanding that you six are the friends of Mr. Elias.
Correct.
He asked us at around this time to let you know that you can feel free to go and visit him now. He should be done with his day's workings.
Wonderful. Thank you for.
Are we allowed to go unsupervised, or in case we squat in a room?
Sorry, sir, I'm not. It's not the same people.
Doesn't matter.
There's been a shift change.
It's British humor. Don't worry about it.
Oh, very good. Yeah, please feel free to take your time and finish your drinks or head straight up.
Has Ted still got that coffee?
Yeah, I was going to say he finishes the last stone cold bit of coffee that he's been nursing for 6 hours.
I feel like Ted's just going to go and squat in a room just to prove a point now, isn't he?
Just breaks into a room just to sit there and go, well, now what are you going to do about it?
But you could write a scathing article about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter what we find now. Like, the president could be a death cultist, but this is what the article's going to be about. Them not letting me into... Like, quite reasonably, not letting me walk around their hotel randomly. Like,
no, it would be the opposite. It would be lax security at hotels. Look, you managed to get in.
All it took was waiting for 6 hours till the person that I know that said I could visit them.
And you got a free coffee. So.
And I got a free coffee, yeah.
Anyway,
well, I guess we should head up. Then.
Heading up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, they said.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, go on.
They said they were told that we would be allowed up at that time, not they had a message from Mr. Elias, right? It's not like he sent a message.
Correct.
just then.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, we got. Just curious.
He's just not that into us.
So you head up to the fourth floor and you find room 410. The door is closed.
Come on, Ted. Ted knows. We know Ted wants to do it.
Knock on the door.
Does he run away?
Okay, you knock. Let's say 30 seconds pass and there's no answer. And no obvious sound from behind the door.
I'll try the handle. Okay, we've been sat there for 6 hours. Like,
Okay, the door's locked.
is it too far to pick the lock?
It's a little forward. It's a little forward.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a
maybe
bit of
we
a
have to
stretch.
hit reception. Not me, because they won't let me. But
I'll put my ear to the door and see if I can hear anything in there.
Yep, can you make a listen roll, please, John?
Yeah. Target 57. Rolled a 31, so it's a success.
Okay. You hear a bit of a scuffle and then a sort of muffled cry that sort of tapers out.
Jackson, can you hear me?
Now silence.
Interesting.
We, Mr. Farwell, do you think you can get this door open?
I think I could give it a go. And what is there a best skill to do that with, or is it simply strength?
Are you carrying a crowbar around?
It is going to be strength, yeah.
Well,
before you kick the door in, I do have skill points in locksmith, so
yeah. Look, we've already made a bad enough impression on this place. How much worse could it get if we break a door down? Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have time for that. So I'm going to try. I suppose I'm probably. I don't think I brought my crowbar with me to the hotel. I left it. I left it in my bag at my hotel. I'm not carrying around a bar of gold anymore, so I don't carry my welding tools. So I'm gonna just have to probably force it with my shoulder, which will be a strength roll, I imagine.
Yeah.
Which I fail. So good luck, Mr. Ted.
Yeah, no, this lock's too bent out of shape
one
already.
Smack.
Just ran straight into my lock.
I mean, it's like very high quality hotel, good quality doors, good quality doorman.
Should we not
Go on, Steve.
tell? I mean, so okay, I don't know what Merritt's heard or not heard. I guess
I will, after the initial battering down the door didn't work and more explanation is needed, I will say someone is in there. He sounds to be in some kind of distress. He may be asleep and having a nightmare, or he may be quite injured because he is now not making any noise. I'm going to run down to the front desk and try and get assistance. I think someone should get this door open and try and get a response.
Corporal Shane says, I will stay if he needs medical. Yeah.
I will say this as I am backing down the corridor.
yeah, I will. I think I will follow you, Merritt. And,
Price I don't want to be here for this bollocks. Come on, Ted.
I mean, I said I've got points in locksmith. Doesn't mean I've brought any lockpicks. But can we do
you can make a locksmith roll. Yeah, you can make a locksmith roll.
I mean,
what's the point in having skills in locksmith if you don't carry?
They'll
locksmith?
surely be in your messenger bag with your notepad.
Oh yeah, here they are. Just didn't scroll down on my character sheet.
they'll be in your hat bands just by the press.
Oh no! Yay! I got a 12
Yes.
under 40. So
Oh, nice. Take it.
I
Okay.
didn't even need the lockpick. I just did it.
So yeah, tick. Don't forget to tick. And I'm also going to say that because you rolled well, that perhaps you will exclaim something when you have opened it. So Merritt and Edwin could hear. So if you still want to go and inform, then you can, but you're aware probably now that the door is open.
Our friend might be dying in there, but I'm very happy at doing really well at unlocking the door.
I'm not faffing around. I'm going inside this room. Like, I don't care how happy Ted is. I wouldn't really bowl him over as I'm like strolling confidently past. What's going
So
on?
Mr. Farwell is first through the door.
I'm
will-
immediately following.
I will not turn around, but I will stay where I am in case someone goes, "No, we need an ambulance," kind of thing.
Okay. So as Mr. Farwell knocks the door open, you see your good friend Jackson Elias lying on the bed with his intestines strewn.
Fucking.
And you see a flap of red flannel sort of snap around the open window, and you assume go down the fire escape.
Dash to the window to have a look at
A
what.
scarf or something. Yeah.
Is there anything? I have first aid. I'm just
those
joking.
back.
Get the pocket knife.
I'm trying to see if I can see anyone out of the window. Like, presumably down the fire escape, I'm just leaning over and looking down.
I guess I have two. Do I need to make a sanity roll? And also,
Oh yeah, true.
Yes.
Like, if Merritt isn't going to try and start, shoving this guy's guts back into his chest cavity, I'm going to maybe see if he's still alive.
Well, we heard noise.
Okay.
So, well, Merritt did. So,
Right. So, Sam, can you make a spot hidden roll for me?
Yep.
And Justin, did you say that you want to check if he's still alive? Oh, you're very muted.
Yeah, I'll make a first aid roll.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, that's fine.
I rolled a 3, so that's good.
Okay, that's a
Success.
success.
Score 1.
Oh.
No, I've got 40 in first aid.
Okay. Good.
Oh, okay, so an extreme success. There is no pulse, no breath, and you don't think there's anything that can be done.
I took that on to Merritt pleadingly, like.
I'm still out in the corridor.
Oh, not Merritt. Wait,
Shane.
no, sorry, not
Shane.
Shane. Yeah,
Shane.
Shane. Yeah. Is Shane here? Shane's right here, right?
Yeah, Shane just shakes his head. What did you get, Sam?
Hard success.
Okay, you can see 3 figures running down the fire escape.
Okay. I think I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs to try and draw attention to things going out that window to make it harder for them to escape. That's
Okay.
my plan. So everyone else hears me make a racket out of the window. I'm assuming they don't seem to react because they're a distance away, do they? Or like I'm trying to yell like "quick, the fire escape" and stuff. I'm yelling like those sorts of things. Murder, that sort of thing.
I think with that, Ted will run to the window to sort of look out at the fire escape as well.
Yeah, I'm yelling all that sort of thing, trying to draw like anyone who's outside it to look in this direction, etc. You get the idea.
So this does go to an alleyway, but you can see that there is a door on the ground floor open and sort of steam coming out. So maybe a kitchen entrance on the ground floor at the back here.
Yeah, I just keep doing that. I don't think I'll even necessarily know if it's worked or not, but I'll keep doing that for like until I can't see them at all or whatever. And I guess I guess it's just 3 figures. I probably can't get any more information than that. Right. They're too distant at this point.
You rolled reasonably well, didn't you? They you can see that each of them has this like sort of almost red tail coming from somewhere around their head, maybe a scarf or something wrapped around their head or something, but sort of a long flapping red thing which you saw sort of snap around the outside of the window as they headed down the fire escape.
Okay.
But that's the only thing that you can really see. Make note of.
Okay. Yeah, I still continue. Do I see where they're like going, or do I just get a flash of them before they disappear?
You can see them kind of working their way down the fire escape. But I'll see what everybody else is doing before we then move time on, because I don't know what everyone else is up to at the moment.
This is maybe a big question. Would, in between obviously them fleeing and then Mrs. Farwell shouting and then Ted running to the window and then processing that there's three guys running away after murder and so on, would he have time to get his camera out and take a photo
of the people running away?
Bear in mind, it's a dark, snowy New York street and it's a 1928 camera.
No, I'm afraid not.
Yeah, I thought it was a stretch, but...
Justin, did you make a sanity roll for... in fact, everybody, I think, that comes in the room, to be honest.
Do I want to roll over my sanity?
Under.
Under? Well, I did roll under, that's good.
I'm pretty sure Shane rolled okay. Yes.
I rolled 21 under 60.
I am, upon hearing Mrs. Farwell shout murder, I'm going to run to the front desk and tell them to call the police.
I failed my sanity roll, so, you know.
Just one sanity loss, Jack, we'll say.
I mean, it's only a dismembered, person I knew, so fair enough. Disemboweled, even.
I think I would have gone to the door and locked in, so I presume that means that I see. Oh dear, that's a fail. Okay, was it 1 point? Did you say?
Yes, 1 point. Merrick gets to the desk, and person kind of looks up and starts talking almost, without seeing you, and says, "Good evening, sir.
You need to call the police immediately. There has been an incident in room 410.
Okay. And he dials and hands you the headset. So yeah, you can just report that.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, let's move time on a few seconds. So Sam, Winifred was still looking out the window. So you see,
still screaming.
Yeah. So you see the three figures kind of they're sort of dark against the snow in the alleyway, and you see them kind of just make their way around to the street, basically, and then you lose sight of them.
I think I will probably stay at the window to see if anyone has come to investigate, and then at that point be on the fire escape to explain the three figures. But that might be a bit further down the line.
Does anyone else have anything?
I mean, can we look around the room for clues that could include murder weapons and documents saying these are the ones who done it? Stuff like that.
Yes, you can. And
it doesn't matter. I failed the roll.
That's okay. There are a number of things strewn around, which I will share with you after this. And in fact, let's call it there for the evening. On that bombshell.
There's a bomb as well.
We haven't spotted it yet.
And ahead of next time, you can consider what you may want to do next. And yeah, I will share a number of handouts with you as well in that intervening time, and share them at the beginning of the next session.
Wonderful.
So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you players for playing. Reminders: Wednesday's Simba Room, every other Thursday, which is next Thursday is the next one. I think the Yellow King. And links to everything below the stream. So our other streaming platforms, our social media, our Discord, and our Patreon, where you can support us if you enjoy the things that we do. Do come chat with us on the Discord. It's a nice time. Any questions or comments for this evening, put them in the chat and we will pop them up on screen in a moment. And I think that's all of that stuff. I was about to say we will be just back in our usual streaming schedule, but next week is actually up in the air, but we'll ignore that for now. Next week may or may not be happening, but the week after is like at least 30% definitely going to happen.
So join us again in 2 months.
But please join us on the Discord for all the most up-to-date things. Next week is a maybe, the week after I'm pretty certain is a definite. But yeah, cool. Anything good in the chat, John? Jackson was killed by the Scarlet Pimpernel. Thanks, 4242. Yes. The flapping red flannel.
Scarlet Pimpernel.
Scarlet Pimpernels?
Yeah. There's some pun here.
Steve, time for another awkward conversation with the hotel staff. Their security is clearly rubbish.
After all this time, we're proven right.
Yeah.
It's not going to look good in Ted's article. I'll tell you that.
It's maybe not the greatest look for Ted when he's like, I really need to see this person. You don't understand. I swear they're my friend. And then they end up dead. Like, Ted's probably quite glad he stayed in the hotel lobby in like
Yeah.
view.
But he was killed when we were already upstairs. If Merrick heard,
at least with the rest of us, and we reported it. Seems a bit.
I'm sure nobody will mind at all. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
I just want to throw this one up because
Sam, fire, stop giving his ideas, Johnny.
I just want to say, if we'd given in to our role-playing impulses and set the hotel on fire, Jackson might still be alive.
Yeah, unless he tripped in a hallway and burnt to death.
Well, yeah.
Oh, player Sam was, having not read the book, 100% certain that we were going to go to that hotel room and find Jackson dead. And I was just like, I really want to stop this happening by any means possible.
We tried. If it wasn't for the officious hotel staff.
Look, it was a scripted event. Like, it's difficult. There's nothing you could do, even with console commands, to prevent this happening.
Without wanting to, peel back the curtain too much, but in the earlier versions of this campaign, the game basically starts now.
Huh.
So you don't meet Jackson. It's all like you are friends with Jackson and he is dead.
He's dead.
That's
I see. That would have been really interesting if we'd really successfully saved him to the extent that you couldn't wheedle your way out as the GM. You just had to play the campaign with the guy alive who the game frames.
He just have a heart attack.
You just have him locked in a cell somewhere, guarded 24 hours a day.
But then, even if, say, my powers of persuasion worked, that's just when you kill him, I guess, is when we're up at that point.
I couldn't possibly say.
That's so funny.
I can only reveal so much. Cool. Is that everything, John?
That is everything. I do want to say that I was aware that this is where the campaign... I didn't know it was specifically with Jackson dead, but I knew that this is where the campaign starts. Because for the past... How long have we been doing this? 4 months? after every single session, someone has been going, so have you finished the prologue yet? To someone who is aware of the older version of Masks of Nyarlathotep.
So for those watching, yes.
Yes, we have now finished the prologue.
And in record time.
Was that like 7 months or something? I don't know how long we've been playing now. And
Only
how many
12 sessions,
per
though.
12. There you go.
Yeah, the Peru we did in 10 sessions.
We're nearly on a max level with prologues here.
Cool. Right. So yes, we might be here next week, but Simbaroom will be here on Wednesday. So yeah, and please join us on the numerous platforms linked below, and chat with us about things like Kane Pixel's videos, and their comparisons to the game Mist. Cool. Right. Thank you, everybody. And we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.